Boomer, I think that your little call for best comedy series, Flight of the Conchords, is a real flight of fancy. Have you fallen out of the nest? There is no way that Flight of the Conchords will be nominated for best comedy series. Now I want you to defend yourself here. Go ahead.
Not only will it be nominated, it's beating 30 Rock.
Okay.
No, it would be so lucky if they get nominated. So lucky if they get nominated. But I look beyond those first four. The first four in this category, especially this year, the world of comedy on TV is pretty weak right now. You get past Entourage, 2.5 Men, and of course 30 Rock and The Office. Anything could be nominated here. Jim Belushi might want to get his tuxedo ready for according to Jim. But Flight of the Conchords has got a very, very passionate fan base, and I just think that, hey, why not? There's every other show that you look at for these last two slots.
Because you're wrong. Because if there's any show that has a passionate fan base and has a cool factor and is going to continue on TV, unlike A Flight of the Conchords, which has been canceled, it's Weeds. And neither one of you guys even have it on your list. So now I'm going to put you on the spot, Rob. You're wrong about this. I think that Weeds has an excellent chance of being nominated over one of your two left field calls, Family Guy or Big Bang Theory. But let's focus on Weeds for a second. Do you agree that it's in the race here? And that Flight of the Conchords is out?
Well, first of all, Flight of the Conchords is not going to make it. I'm sorry. I wanted to. It's funny. I love it. They're New Zealanders. I'm Australian, so we're supposed to be close. But no. It doesn't have a chance. Look, if Flight of the Conchords makes it in, I will eat this mouse. Okay, I will actually eat it on the next web chat. I will do my best to eat it because it's just got no chance. Okay, but if it does, I will also publicly say I will just worship the ground that Boomer walks on. Okay, so I'm putting that out there first of all. Now,
more than you already do.
Aside, that is the most insane thing you've ever done. All right. Now, putting that aside, I'm thinking Weeds has a good shot. Okay, we know that it has been really close every single year, pretty much, and I think a couple of years, some of us have even predicted that it's going to make it into the top 5. It was that close. However, it always had to rely on its episode at the panels, and there aren't that many belly laughs with Weeds. Okay, and so therefore it never made it through. This time it's on popularity. If anything from Showtime is going to make it in, it's going to be Weeds. Not Californication and not Tara. It's going to be Weeds. And so I'm very close to changing mine around and putting Weeds in there because I think it's crazy not to. It's always just there. So
yeah, but what I like about your predictions, because we all have to go out on limbs here, and I think that's what our viewers in this case expect us to do. It's our job as pundits. And there are cases to be made for your two left calls here this year, which are Big Bang Theory and Family Guy. I don't think both of them can get in, but I think they're in the game, and one of them can. I equate your Big Bang Theory idea to the Scrubs theory, which is it's a show about with a frat boy sensibility, a show that is building an audience. It's got a strong core following. People, I know both of you guys love the show. I've only seen it a few times, and I think that can translate it to a nomination. It is a little too young skewing for the normal voter demographic, but it's in the game.
Yeah, the Scrubs theory is a very good theory. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And it's really broken through this second season. Everybody seems to love it. It's been renewed for 2 more seasons by CBS, and CBS is really behind it. Jim Parsons is the star of the season by far, maybe just eclipsed by Tina Fey. But, look, that's my out on a limb choice. And, I think it has a better shot than a lot of the other contenders. The comedy category is unfortunately a little thin. And so you've got to go out on a limb, and that's the reason. And you also mentioned Family Guy, Tom. Can I just put that out there quickly? Family Guy is hilarious. It made the top 10 last year. It's very politically incorrect. It's crass. It's rude, but man, it is funny. It's really funny. But
it's also a cartoon. And only one time in the history of the Emmys has a cartoon been nominated for Best Comedy Series. What was that, Boomer? Give us the answer.
It wasn't The Simpsons, which a lot of people might guess. Right. It was the Flintstones way back in the 60s.
That's right.
That's
so
right.
Give
Well,
us
the
your
Simpsons
view on
only
this.
entered. They only entered this race a couple of times, I think, back maybe early in their run, and it was before number one, before you had the situation with 6 nominees, and secondly, they were kind of trailblazing that particular idea, and people don't necessarily always go with the trailblazers. So here we have Family Guy trying for it again. It did make the top 10 last year, and we heard some great reports about lots of laughter in the panel screenings. So it's got a shot here. I just don't think anybody over 40 and all those voters, and a lot of voters are over 40, are going to go for Family Guy. I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger there. Well, another reason I don't think Family Guy makes it is you've got to have support from different. To get in a series race, you're going to have support from a lot of different branches. It's not eligible in any acting categories, not eligible for directing. It is eligible for some writing, not eligible for a lot of the technical categories. I don't know who the core base of voters would be for that.
Well, they certainly had enough of them last year to get it into the top 10. Now, Boomer, you're going out on a limb for How I Met Your Mother, and I like that. I think this is a show that really does have a chance. But on the other hand, it didn't make the top 10 last year when we had a popular vote before it was whittled down to 5 nominees. This year, of course, it's all popular vote. So in a way, you are crazy to pick this, but I like your rationale for doing so. Explain.
Everybody does. I mean, people have told me I'm more crazy for this one than the Flight pick that I've got because it didn't make the top 10 last year or any other year. But a lot of shows have not been nominated their first, say, 3 seasons or so for comedy series. Everybody Loves Raymond was a good example of that. I think Neil Patrick Harris is a breakout star this year with all the hosting jobs he's done, and he's everywhere right now. I think we all agree that he may be even hosting the Emmys. I think the Lifetime reruns, a lot of people are discovering the show for the first time. And more than that, more than any of that, this is the most aggressive and interesting campaign that I've seen to Emmy voters in a long time, especially for a show that hasn't been nominated. And I just have a feeling it's going to break through this time.
Really good. There's often this delayed reaction we know at the Emmys. Everybody Loves Raymond. Scrubs are good examples of that.
That's a good point. And, that's a very good idea. The fact that it's being campaigned so heavily means that there are people out there who realize that this is the time to make it through to this category. There are some slots open to anybody. And so anyone who really works hard at it will probably make it through. So it's very exciting.
I'll say this, if it does not make it this year, I will never predict it again because all the cards are lining up for it to make it through. Yeah. And if it doesn't make it this time, that's it. They're done. They might as well save all that campaign money in future seasons.
Yeah.
But we are agreed that 2.5 Men, 30 Rock, The Office, Entourage are all virtual locks, right? All 3 of us.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think so. It's not like drama. It's like Rob mentioned earlier. Comedy is thin these days. I mean, some of these that we're talking about are amazing comedies and would have been amazing comedies any year in the history of television. But when you get beyond those 4 or 5 shows, it's a pretty vast wasteland. Or you've got a lot of shows like a Weeds or Californication or United States of Tara that are sort of dramedies that don't really fall in this traditional comedy kind of frame, and it's not, the comedy world is not what it used to be. Let's say that.
No, but look, if there was a lot of comedy series out there that had a really good chance, and it was such a hot category, Entourage would be struggling because really the buzz for that show has really died off, and it's really not that funny, and a lot of people pan it outright, and yet it's a lock. Because it's on HBO and there's not much else. Curb Your Enthusiasm's not eligible, and Showtime, Showtime's other 2 shows probably aren't as hot as they should be for this category. And so now we're talking about Entourage as a lock, and that just goes to show that this category is wide open, and it's going to give us a lot of really interesting surprises. Fingers crossed.
I agree. Very good.